Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel of Jokta Academy. In this video, I'm going to review the recently conducted HPAS Prelims Examination 2022. So in this particular video, I will take up the questions of economics and current affairs. So this will provide you a little insight about the pattern and what became the sources for the commission to set these questions. Before that, we are coming up with the HPAS mains test series for the upcoming mains examination that will be available from 4th November 2022. You can call on these numbers, given numbers, and avail this test series. It will be available on offline and online basis at our Chandigarh Center and Shimla Center. So to begin with, I will take up the questions from economics section, right? So the first question that was from economics section was more or less a question from current economy section. So it said that according to World Bank working paper. So what is the pick here? That this question was from the World Bank working paper. So this paper was released this year, and this says that poverty in India has been down to 12.3%. Okay, but in the question it was written that the statement said that it was 10.2%. So it was little dicey. So this is how the commission is going to set questions. So what is the pick here? That you have to be very cautious about the reports and indices, right? So if we see the second question from the economics part, so it is a static economic question, basic conceptual question. So it says, development expenditure of the central government does not include the defense expenditure and grants to states, statement 1, and statement 2 says, non-developmental expenditure involves interest payments and subsidies, right? So what became the source for this? This is from the financial and budgeting of the government. So this is a static portion, basic macroeconomic concept, right? So answer was D, right? So the other question was, deficit financing cannot create inflation in economy, and statement 2 was, if RBI reduces the cash reserve ratio, the credit creation will decline. So this is the question that has come up from the inflation part, that is from the monetary policy thing, right? So as you know that recently inflation has been in news. Okay, it is dominating the highlights. So it is from there. So these are basic concepts, deficit financing, what is inflation. So if you are aware of these concepts, general concepts, you'll be able to do such questions, right? So the answer was B, right? The other question is, low income countries and lower middle income countries have high prospective growth rates and high marginal productivities of capital. Basically, this is also from the current section of the economy. So there has been a report by World Bank which is talking about the low income countries, right? So this question was also from the current portion, right? The other one is the average SDG index. Okay, to this question, I would like to say that if we see the prelims syllabus of the economics, it is clearly written over there that the economic and social development will be the syllabus. And in that also it is further written that the sustainable development goals, right? Or sustainable development. So we should be very, very cautious about these sustainable development goals. And in this particular section, we should be aware of both the things, the static portion of SDGs, that what is the time period, when was it spearheaded, and things like that. And we should also be aware about the current scenario of SDGs report. In this, the main part is that this question has been asked from the United Nations report of the Sustainable Development Goals, right? So this was the report, Sustainable Development Goals report of 2022. So United Nations come up every year with this report. So you can see that there was a decline. Okay, so we should be aware of these reports, indices, especially by the big international organizations like United Nations, World Bank, IMF. All right. Now, the other question was from, if Indian economy is in equilibrium at the point where plans to save, to invest are equal, then government expenditure must be equal to government income. The second statement was, in pursuance with the recommendation of Narsimham Committee, the RBI has framed new guidelines to set up more foreign exchange banks. Third was, redistribution policies geared to reduce economic inequalities include progressive tax policies. The other one was, the currency convertibility concept, in its original form is originated in Taylor's agreements. So in this particular question, you will see the variety of things, variety of static things, right? Like, first question was from the Indian economic part, and second question was from the committees. As we know, the most famous committee in economics or in the banking reforms is Narsimhan Committee 1 and 2, right? And third one was the taxation thing, budgeting and taxation. That is again the static portion of the economics. Right, the fourth one was the currency convertibility. So it was a little dicey because currency convertibility, जो concept था, it came up in the Bretton Woods agreement. जब IMF और World Bank बने थे, those are known as the Bretton Woods twins, right? तो वहाँ से ये currency convertibility का concept आया था, पर यहाँ पे they have asked कि it has been originated from the Taylor's agreement. So this is how the commission is going to set papers. So be thorough with your preparations. And other is, gross capital formation consists of outlays on additions to the fixed assets of the economy plus gross changes in the level of inventories. Net value added at factor cost is the sum total of all the factor incomes. The national income is the total amount of income accruing to a country from economic and non-economic activities in a year. And fourth one was, in moving from national income to personal income, we must subtract the incomes earned but not received and add incomes received but not currently earned. So again, this particular question has a blend of both the things, because if we see the first statement, it is from the World Bank data. We have a site that is databank.worldbank.org. They have picked the statement from there and has put that into the question. And others is under the national income accounting. You will see a very dedicated chapter in the NCRTs, 12th NCRT, where it is clearly and very precisely mentioned about the national income accounting, right? So that became the source for this particular question. And other one is, the green economy could add more than 54 million jobs worldwide by 2030. World over, the additional investment to avoid future pandemics is estimated to be only $15 billion in a year. Over 90% of countries saw their HDI value drop in either 2020 or 2021. The fourth one was, the economic gains from phasing out coal could amount to as much as 1.7% of global GDP every year. So when this question was searched, it has 4 different reports in it. It has 4 different reports. There are 4 statements, and these 4 statements are from different 4 reports. Okay, so can you sense the importance of the reports and indices? The first report says the green economy. Okay, so green economy could add more than 54 million jobs. So here, this was the report, World Employment and Social Outlook Trends. It is the latest report. And what is the pick here? That it is released by the International Labour Organization. That again is a very, very important international organization. So in this particular report, it is clearly written that the green economy could add more than only 24 million. Okay, so instead of 54, it is 24 million jobs worldwide by 2030. And if we see the second report, so it is also by the IMF. It is the report. This statement has been picked from the report by the IMF. And if we see the third report, so it is a report. Obviously, you know that United Nations Development Program is there, which releases the report about the human development. Okay, so Human Development Index is also the part of that report only. So that question is from, this question is from that. So this is this Human Development Report, right? And the fourth statement you can see here, it is talking about that if we phase out the coal, from our economy, it can help us increase our global GDP by 1.7%. Okay, so the dicey part here was that this was 1.2. This was 1.2. It is this report, this particular report, the Great Carbon Arbitrage Report. It was released in July 2022. It is clearly written in this that the current world GDP will rise around 1.2% if the coal is phased out. Okay. So the other question is the positive peace index. This is peace index measures the positive peace of 143 countries. So here the countries are 163. So this was a wrong statement. And other one was it covers 59.6% of the world population. And positive peace is defined as the attitudes, institutions, and structures that create sustainable, peaceful society. This was a correct statement. And it is based on more than 45,700 data sciences. So if you have gone through with this report, you will easily make the right choice. Okay, so you should be very, very thorough with your reports and indices, right? Earlier, it used to be the stance of the commission that they used to ask the releasing authority, which authority is releasing this index, and what is the India's rank. So now they are going step forward. So you need to channelize the things and you need to cope up with things accordingly, right? So this is positive peace report. The other question was the Global Health Security Index is a measure of pandemic preparedness. Second statement is compared with the rest of the world, a higher percentage of people in OECD countries tend to be covered by public or mandatory private health insurance. This 30 into 30 target relates to poverty eradication. World over, cities and other urban areas are home to around 24% of humanities. This question is again the blend of different reports. This is again from the different reports. In the first statement, you can see there is Global Health Security Index. It is related to the security index. And in other, this is regarding the OECD. And third one is 13 to 30 target relates to poverty eradication. That is actually regarding to the biological diversity. Right. So this was the wrong statement. So answer became the C1 and 2 was correct. Right. This is this UN Biodiversity Conference, which talks about the 30 into 30 targets, right? Then there was a question where you needed to match the things. So it was pretty easy. You can do this by the elimination method also. If you are aware of one of the things, you can do it quite easily. So this was again there. So answer was A. There was also one match the following question. So this was again there. So again, this was not that dicey, not that difficult, because I'm sure you must have read about these things. It might be laissez-faire, blue chip, golden handshake, conglomerate. So it was not that difficult to do. The answer was C. Now, what are the takeaways and key areas? Because I told you that our effort would be that we can give you little insight about the patterns, about the sources, so that you can channelize your preparation for the upcoming examinations also. Okay, so key takeaways would be that reports and indices are very important. Okay, especially from the organizations like IMF, World Bank, International Labour Organization. So it becomes very important. If you are aware, if you are updated, if you are reading the newspapers daily, you will find those reports, right? And the certain macroeconomic and microeconomic concepts like financing and budgeting, national accounting, national income accounting, inflation, etc. So this becomes the important thing. So this would be your approach. This should be your approach to the economics part, right? The next section is of the current affairs. We will see the questions from the current affairs. Look, current affairs in itself is a very wide subject, right? You will find the questions from variety of topics. Like for an instance, if we see this question, this is there are 4 statements. You will find that these 4 statements are from the four different areas. Like first statement is related to the sports current affairs, second is related to the SEO developments, SEO submit, and third is related to the Indian Army, fourth is related to the award and honors. So you will find in every question that were asked from the current affair, you will find that there were variety of statements, and each statement was from different topic. So what could be how to tackle this now? What could be the approach that you can spearhead for the current affairs? So you should be updated. You should keep yourself updated. Go through the newspapers of your choice, whether you are following Hindu, whether you are following Indian Express, Mint, or any other newspaper, go to those newspapers thoroughly, right? And second approach would be that you can follow the magazine of your choice, any magazine that provides you the current affair on monthly basis or the weekly basis. And for that matter, we also provide a very precise and concise issue for the current affairs, so you can also avail those magazines. So this should be the way forward, right? So in the end, the last words of wisdom would be that keep yourself in the game, and always feel positive, and all the best to all the aspirants. Thank you so much.